Hello everyone, I hope you're all okay and hope you are having a good start to the new year. Please excuse the hair, it's a bit of a mess actually. But today I wanted to do a video, a bit more of a cold girl look. I apologise if I look really tired. I only got up about 20 minutes ago. I'm going to get myself ready for the day. But we're kind of going for the winter girl, cold girl kind of look. So going to keep it fairly simple, but also we're going to try and get that, like, the rosiness of the cheeks, the rosiness of the nose, and kind of go for that kind of cold girl aesthetic, if that all makes sense. So as always, I have it done at my skincare. And I'm just going to start by clipping these in. I've seen so many people use these clips and I thought, you know what, I'm actually going to invest. I say invest, they're like a couple of pounds for like 10, but I'm actually going to get some. And I tell you what, it makes such a difference. My hair doesn't get in the way when I'm doing my makeup. Now, obviously, I think I mentioned before in my previous video about my skin breaking out quite a bit. I do have very sensitive skin and it's very slowly getting back to normal. I used something that was quite cheap and it's just completely broke out my skin, and I find when it breaks out my skin, it does take a while for it to kind of get back and reset into its normal thing. So, you know, my skin just has a mind of its own. So we're going for a slightly more of a full coverage vibe. So to start with, we're going to use a little bit of primer just to set the places where I can get a bit shiny. Just rub that in. Same as before, I'm not going to really go too much into what the products are because you can just use whatever you've got. Next, I am actually going to use a foundation. Now, I know I've said in quite a few of my videos I don't tend to use foundation because it can be a little bit heavy. However, I've heard good things about this one. Oh no. However, I have heard good things about this one, which is the Wet and Wild, and I'm only going to use the tiniest bit. Now, I'm very fair skinned, so I've gone for Nude Ivory, which seemed a bit more of like a pinky nude rather than that the yellowy nude. So it comes with this weird thing, so I'm just going to pop a little bit on my skin. Again, nothing too much, and just blend that in. And I've actually started using this brush. I don't know if you guys ever get this as well, but you'll get you'll use the brush for so long and then eventually you just be like, I don't like using this brush now, I don't know if it works, and then you'll just try a different brush and then just absolutely fall in love with it. That's kind of how I have happened with my brush I use for my skin tints or anything like that. I don't know, I kept using this brush and I did like it initially, but it's quite dense, and I just thought I'd try this because I used to use this for my highlighter, but I now use this for my highlighter. So I'm just switching all my brushes around, and I always think I can just clean them and switch it back around if I ever wanted to. But that's actually a really nice colour match. I'm happy with that. As always, I haven't gone into the eye area because I don't want to put too much product there because my eyes will crease like crazy. So we're going to leave that for a little bit. Just make sure this is blended in nicely. I'm just going to go to the under eyes. Usual, just whack it on like I normally do. I am going to go as a bit quicker in regards to the step-by-steps of the base because the base is pretty much the same. It's mainly going to be the eyes and the blush that's going to be different, and you know, the blushy. So I'm going to whiz through this as quickly as I can. So I started with primer, bit of foundation, but you can use a skin tint, you can use whatever you want. Like I said, if you want something that's a bit lighter that is still got a good coverage, then the Maybelline, what's it called, the Maybelline Stay skin tint is really good. That's really good. Now we've done the under eyes, we're just going to go back in with the concealer and we're going to go into where our blemishes are, which for me at the moment is quite a lot. But like I said, it is calming down a lot, which I'm happy with. I've just got to be very patient with what I'm doing because unfortunately I'm an idiot and I don't listen to my skin no matter how many times. I don't know how many times. So into those little sections, and as I said, we're going to really focus on keeping the concealer on the redded areas and just slowly then buff out the edges. So same as what I always do, so I will whiz past this bit. Then for the chin and my forehead, I just go back in with my beauty blender because that's more just to lighten those areas slightly. Now I'm just going to go into my cream bronzer and my cream slash liquid blush. So I'm just going to quickly do that off camera. But again, for the liquid blush, because I'm wanting to go for that cold gold look, I'm going to mix the two together like I did in my no makeup makeup. But that's just because of the shades that I have. So depending on what shades you have, you can kind of do it with anything. But I'm trying to go for a bit more of a pink vibe rather than light pink or peach. I'm trying to mix the two together. So I'll quickly do that off camera and come back. What I did just want to say is, if you find with your cream blush, if you put too much on, you can always stick with your beauty blender, which always do damp. That's with everything. So everything I've done with my beauty blender today is always damp. But then you can just kind of go in, you can just kind of buff it out a little bit. So if you feel you've done a bit too much, because we want that bronzer there, but we don't want to go overboard with it, because again, we're kind of trying to go for the cold look rather than like the sun-kissed vibe, but we still want to get that sculpt there. So if you always feel to put too much on, beauty blender will always help. I've got hair in my eye, will always help. Just blend it out that little bit more and keep it very seamless. So hopefully you can see where I've put the blush. Now, if you look closer, you can see I look so tired. I do apologise, but you can see where I put the blush, and I've put it around my eyes as well, because we're trying, like I said, we're trying to go for that cold girl. So I'm going a little bit dramatic, or maybe a bit more exaggerated when it comes to the blush. But for now, we're going to keep that there. And I've changed it a little bit. I say changed it a little bit, just the order that I do things. So before I then go into my powder, I'm actually going to do my brows, which again, I'm just going to do off camera. But I say I'm going to do my brows, I'm going to set to my brows first, because I find when I do this and then I do my powder stuff, by the time I actually come to doing my brows, it's properly set. And I've tried that a few times and I prefer it, because I feel like my eyebrows go a bit more how I want them to go. So I'm just going to do the setting off camera. Now that setting, we are going to go into powder. So I'm actually now using this peach one that I mentioned before in a couple of videos, and I do really like this one and a coconut one. I do really like. Now again, because I'm very fair skinned and more of the pinky tone of the fair skinned, I find this goes really well with my skin tone. So it will always vary. But all I'm going to do is what I normally do. I'm going to use my powder puff under my eyes, around the T-zone, and then I'm going to use a big fluffy brush just around the edges. So I'm going to do that fairly quickly, because that bit hasn't technically changed and that bit has stayed exactly the same. Now that's set, we're going to go into the fun part. So ideally for this, you will need more of a pinky blush. So I do have my Temu one, which I know I've shown before, and I also bought this one from Primark because it was $1.50, which is called a Posy. So we're kind of going for that kind of, what's it called, Winter Kiss, that one? That's like that. It's like more of a pinky vibe, and we want quite a bit of it. We're going to go in, and everywhere where you've put the liquid blush, I keep getting hairs stuck on my face, there we go, and we're just kind of going over. And again, so what I'm doing is I'm bringing it over here, and then I'm bringing it slightly underneath my eye and then into the lid a little bit. That is the aim. So around, slightly under the eye, into the lid. And then we're going to keep a little bit. Now, if you've noticed, because I forgot to mention this bit, I don't actually have any contour on my nose, because I'm just trying to go for more of that, I keep saying it, just going into that gold girl look. So I haven't actually put any on my nose, but if you can see, hopefully you can see, I'm hoping it's picking up on camera, because I'm very blushy right now, but that's what we're looking for. So we want to go slightly out a little bit, just to kind of, again, just link it all together and bring it out, and then around the nose, a little bit on the forehead, that's just the access, and then that's the blush bit done. Then we're going to go into our bronzer again, and that's just the usual. That is just to kind of make it seamlessly putting together, but I've done, as you know, I've done the blush before this time, so hopefully when I do the bronzer, it will just kind of blend in a little bit more, rather than it looking too in your face. Now we've done that, I'm going to go in and actually draw in my brows. So again, I'm going to do that off camera, and then I'll be right back. So now I've done my brows, I'm going to do a little bit of eyeshadow. Again, it's not going to be a lot, but again, because we're going for this cold girl look, I want to go quite cool toned with it. So I'm just going to go in with, let's get rid of my mirror, that would help, just this top shade. I might dip into that a little bit, just get a little bit of depth, but again, it's nothing too major. And I'm just going to do it round where obviously I've got that blush, but I'm just going to do it where it's the framing of the eye. Again, nothing too major, it's just to give a little bit more depth when it comes to the eye. And I'm just doing circular motions, it's nothing, you can be quite messy with this because the fact that you're using quite a light colour, you don't need to be as precise with it. And then just bring it a little bit on the edge and come across. Hopefully you can see that. And then if you really wanted to, completely up to you, you can always go back in with your powder blush. If you feel that some of the brown has been taken away, then just put a tiny bit on your brush and then just go around the edges where you had the blush, so you don't kind of lose out on that vibe of the pink. Very nice. Now on to highlight. So highlight, I'm going to go down my nose first. Use a little brush and I want to make sure I'm getting it across my nose, because again the idea is we want it to be cold, we want it to be shiny, glistening. That's kind of the aim that we're going for. Then as always across the brow bow, and same on the other side, just a little bit across here. Bigger brush, I'm using a fan brush. Again, brush wise is just completely what you prefer, but I've just really started enjoying using this, so I just kind of go on, and I actually now kind of just do it around here just to get that glisten. And I find with this blush in particular, it just makes it such a gorgeous color, and I feel so like icy and pinky, and I love it. So just go across here, and then I'm putting it on at my forehead. Just kind of going a bit crazy with the glisten. I hope you can see that. Look at that. And just with the blush that I've got, it just makes it more like purpley pinky, and I just really like it, and I'm just like obsessed. And I'm just going crazy with just highlight everywhere. But that is the idea with that. With my eyeshadow brush, I'm just going to go into the eyes. So I'm just going to go across here, and again, you don't need to be super neat with this, but you can just see where it's just nice and glistening. And again, because there's some pink on it, I don't know if it's just this blush or the way the highlight reflects, but I just find it just changes the colour, and I absolutely love it. Now for mascara, I'm not going to do any eyeliner, I'm not going to do anything like that. Now I don't have any of this stuff in particular, but you can get like those eyeliners, like the white ones or peach ones that you do under the eye. I don't have any of that, but if you wanted to kind of really open the eye even more, you can do something like that. But again, I'm just going to do my mascara off camera. I want to keep them as open as possible, so when it comes to, again, that kind of look, we're keeping it simple but dramatic, if that makes sense. Okay, now that's mascara done, we're going to move on to the last step, which is lips. With the lips, I'm going to do something a little bit different because I keep using the same lip liner. So you need any type of nude lip liner, and we're going to go for a very like light pink vibe, which makes it maybe sound a bit more Barbie vibe than winter vibe, but I'm trying to go for like the pale icy kind of vibe, and it's just not your typical nude lip. Now, you want to do a nude lip with this, you absolutely can, there's nothing wrong with that. I just wanted to do something a little bit different. I need to sharpen this. I had a bit of my lip balm on just to soften my lips, and I didn't put too much on, so I don't really need to like dab any of it off. But then you just outline your lips again however you see fit. I ever so slightly overline the top, and then once you've outlined your lips, find whatever kind of pinky colour you've got. Now this is more like a tinted lip balm, but I tend to dab it on because it can go on a bit heavy, this particular one. Just use my finger to soften it up, let it blend in with the lip liner, and there you have it. Cold girl vibe. Let me take these clips out, let me try and fix my hair, which, to be honest, I set with it up with one of these like scrunches, and it's just like kinked my hair, so please ignore that. But that is the overall look. Like I said, simple but dramatic. Let me try and go into a bit of a better light, and hopefully you can kind of see everything a bit more clearly. So hopefully now you can see, again, get my hair out the way, where you've got the shine, you've got the very dramatic kind of blushy look where it's going into the eyes just a little bit. But yeah, and then the pinky lips. And you know what, I've loved doing something like this, and sometimes I will just have my lip balm on instead, but I absolutely am loving the dramatic blush look with a big sheen of the highlight on, and putting a little bit on the lids. And yeah, it's just simple but still dramatic and kind of goes with that winter vibe. And then obviously if you want to wear your beanie hat, wear your little earmuffs, whatever it is, with nice jumper and some boots, and then you're all good to go. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I am really enjoying doing these, and you know, the kind of looks I go for are a bit more, I say natural, a bit more natural, sometimes have, like I said, a bit of a dramatic part of it, but I hope you are getting some tips from it or just enjoying watching it, either way. But yes, I enjoy doing them and I will keep on doing them. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe if you did. If you do have any requests of anything that you would like me to do, just let me know, and I will see you in the next one.